14.5 inches of rain in a single night, a number that shattered every 24-hour rainfall record in Wisconsin. From Milwaukee to Waukesha, streets turned into rivers. Water poured into homes, swallowed cars, knocked out power across entire neighborhoods, and forced thousands into a race against time to escape disaster. This wasn't just a historic flash flood. It was a brutal test of human endurance and a wake-up call that climate change is no longer some distant threat. It's knocking at the door of every city. On August 10, 2025, the city of Muskego and all of southeast Wisconsin were thrown into a state of emergency. A slow-moving cold front became trapped overhead, unleashing relentless downpours. The rain pounded for hours, dumping over 9 inches in many areas and in some spots, as much as 13 inches in a single night. The peak came northwest of Milwaukee, where sensors recorded 14.50 inches, the highest total ever seen in state history. By the time the first light broke, Wisconsin was unrecognizable. Streets were submerged. Brewers Boulevard, normally jammed with traffic, had become a raging river. On the highways, dozens of cars stalled, drivers trapped inside as water rose to their windows. In Wauwatosa, peaceful neighborhoods turned into massive lakes. Milwaukee firefighters received over 600 emergency calls in just a few hours. Everything from water rescues to gas leaks to flooded basements. One family panicked as 5 feet of water rushed into their basement in just 20 minutes. Another resident watched in shock as their car was swallowed by what had looked like a harmless puddle. The power grid buckled. Thousands of homes in Milwaukee and Waukesha went dark. The Wisconsin State Fair was forced to cancel its final day, and a major triathlon in Milwaukee was called off. The economic losses remain unknown, but experts say they'll easily reach into the hundreds of millions of dollars. But the scariest part wasn't just the water. In Milwaukee, the city's massive underground tunnel system built to hold stormwater and sewage was near capacity. Engineers warned that if the rain didn't stop in the next few hours, it would overflow. That would flood downtown with a toxic mix of stormwater and sewage, turning this disaster into a public health nightmare. The clock was ticking. One man described the moment his car stalled midstream, water seeping in through the doors, but he and his friend managed to break out and pull another trapped driver to safety. A family who had lived in the area for 43 years admitted they had prepared for floods, but said, "We've never seen anything like this." This was a living example of how climate change is rewriting the rules. Extreme rainstorms, once rare, are now striking more often, with more intensity. Urban infrastructure, designed for a different era, can no longer cope. Outdated drainage systems, new housing developments in low-lying areas, and the destruction of wetlands and forests all work together to turn heavy rain into catastrophe. lesson from Wisconsin is clear: we cannot keep building cities while ignoring climate risk. Massive investments in flood resilience are needed, not just patchwork fixes, but complete redesigns. Flood walls, high-capacity drainage, and shoreline protections can help in the short term. But in the long run, we must rethink urban planning, limit construction in lowlands, and restore natural buffers like forests and wetlands, the ecological shields that soak up floodwaters. Early warning systems also need an upgrade. Meteorological agencies must be equipped with cutting-edge technology to make more accurate forecasts, giving officials time to evacuate and residents time to prepare. More importantly, this disaster shows that climate change is not a single country problem. Flooding in Wisconsin today could be flooding in London, Mumbai, or Tokyo tomorrow. Nations must share technology, data, and expertise because no one is immune to extreme weather. Looking at Wisconsin in the aftermath, we see a community that pulled together, with rescue crews working around the clock. That spirit is proof that even in the darkest hours, human kindness can be the guiding light. But spirit alone isn't enough when infrastructure remains fragile. We must act before rainfall totals like 14.5 inches become the new normal. Nature's message couldn't be clearer: the clock is running. Every year we delay puts more cities on the danger list. We can choose to adapt now or pay a much higher price later. And Wisconsin, after that historic night of rain, leaves the world with a costly lesson: no one stands outside the fight against climate change. Every decision, from city planning to planting a single row of trees, plays a part in determining whether we'll be underwater or still standing when the storm hits. Thank you for watching this video from Raging Planet. If you found it valuable, please give it a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into climate, nature, and humanity. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss our latest updates. Some visuals in this video are for illustrative purposes and may not depict the full extent of the real events. Always stay updated with your local weather forecasts and prepare safety plans for yourself and your family. We'll see you in the next video.